Brandon Turner has lost $15 million of investor money on one of his multifamily deals. $15 million is a lot of money. You see this happen a lot of times with these big players. And it's like, why did that happen? How could he have lost all that money? Everything seemed to be going well. The occupancy was high. It was sitting around 96 to 97%. They even increased the NOI on the property. So they was able to make the property perform like you should.
Occupancy is sitting at 97%.
That's strong.
And NOI is up over 60%.
Oh, wow, that is great.
The biggest thing that happened, or at least one of the biggest thing that happened, is what they call like a cap rate expansion.
How do you lose $15 million?
When everything is going right.
You have to understand how these lenders are underwriting deals, because they are the ones that are giving you the money. So at $3 million NOI, 4% cap rate, that puts them at a value of around $75 million for that particular property. Now, when the cap rate expansion happened, rates started to change and the market affected their property highly. So now their NOI went up to about 4.8 million, and then the cap rate also went up. So it went up to 8%. So the cap rate doubled, and that brought their value down to about 60 million. The property was about 66 million. They gave them about an 80% LTV. So they got a $53 million loan. Brandon raised about 20% to put down plus reserves. That put them around 14.7, $15 million. The interest payments on this, more than likely a variable rate. So they could have been paying anywhere from 132 something thousand a month up to $400,000 a month just for interest alone. Over a 2 to 3 year period, they still have a loan that's due of anywhere between 52 and $53 million, still around the same amount that they borrowed, because all they've been doing is paying interest. And the market starts tanking, everything starts going to shit. The lender says, hey, I'm gonna call the loan due. And the bank also sees this $1.5 million in reserves, and they go, hey, based on our contract, that's our money.
The property is 97% occupied. NOI is increasing. The property is performing exactly as planned.
That's great news. We're calling the loan due. Oh, and we're taking the $1.5 million in reserves too.
And so now at this point, they're in the hole about $13 million for the property, because when they revalued the property, when the cap rates expanded, their value was at 60 million. More than likely, as the market got worse, instead of giving them an 80%, they brought that shit down and they said, hey, we're going to give you 70% now. Lenders do that shit all the time. They'll tell you one thing, and then when it comes time to refinance something, they're going to push it down, and they're giving them 70%. Now, I can only get $42 million after the refinance. $42 million, but I still owe about $53 million. So I'm negative. The gap there is about 11 million plus the 1.5. So at that point, it's like, oh, I need to go raise about 13 million, anywhere between 13 and 15 million. When it came time to refinance it to a long-term debt, because that's more than likely what they was trying to do, their property now is valued at 60 million. The deal messed up simply because they did not stress test it properly. There are too many investors that are hype about buying properties. The rates were low. They're like, oh, I don't see the rates are going to jump any further than this. You know, it may not go above 4%, 5%. We'll be fine. But you don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know shit about fuck.
And what I see happen, and that broke this deal completely, is they did not prepare for the worst. What do you mean by stress test? What is stress testing a deal? When you're underwriting the deal, you want to see currently right now the way that this property is performing, not pro forma. And you're going to see if the occupancy drops down to 70%, can we pay a new loan? What does that DSCR look like for a long-term loan? What does that look like at a 70% occupancy? What does it look like if my NOI drops? What happens if I can't increase my rents like I think? What happens if my expenses go higher and something broke? But what if you can't raise the rent as high? What if occupancy starts to drop because maybe people got laid off? Maybe people don't have their job no more like they used to. If the rates go up, what does my property look like? Can it pay for that? You need to make sure you do all of these things for uncertainty to make sure that you can refi into that loan. This is one of the big reasons why me and my partner developed the syndication app. The syndication app is designed to make sure that you set up your waterfall structure right, so you can pay investors what they owe. You do the sensitivity analysis so you can see what the property is going to do. It's so many other features will protect investors and protect the GPs and the sponsors whenever they get into these deals so they can see the big picture. It wasn't a matter of Brandon doesn't know what he's doing. He played his investors. He scammed his investors. Shit happens, right? Shit happens, and all you can do is try to recoup the money back. And if the deal makes sense in worst case scenario, then you're in there. If you feel like you're going to change the purchase price and you're going to lose the deal, lose the deal. It's better to lose a deal and not be able to get this deal versus losing $15 million. Would you not agree? That's the end of the video. That's all I got. $15 million is a lot of money. Let me know in the comments, what do you think Brandon could have done differently? What else could have happened? Why do you think he lost these people's money? I hope this video brought you some good education, some good understanding on underwriting and really understanding what you need to watch out for getting these deals. And until my next video, hey, I see y'all on the side that cash flow is positive and doesn't put you in foreclosure.